Hello and welcome to Getting Your Money's Worth, the show that focuses on value. I'm Judith West and our guest today is Lynn Rollins, financial planner and board member of Wiser. Thanks for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Well, you look very wise, so tell us, what is Wiser?
Wiser stands for the Women's Institute for a Secure Retirement.
Women's Institute for Secure Retirement. Okay, so tell me something. You're a board member. Why do women need a special institute for their retirement?
Well, because if we look at the fact that 3 out of 5 women make under $30,000 a year, and women are living longer, they're earning less, they don't get as much Social Security. The average woman has 13 years of zeros on her Social Security record because she's stayed home and taken care of children, or they take care of parents.
And she makes less money.
She makes less money. A lot of our elderly poor are female. The huge percentage of our elderly poor are female.
I know. And we see them on the streets, and we see them in homes, and we see them scavenging for food.
Well, and we see a lot of women who even aren't doing that, but they may not. They may be cutting back on health care. They may be splitting their pills. They may be doing a lot of things because they don't have enough money to cover their health care costs and where they live and their food.
Okay, so you named a lot of reasons why women need special attention, but you can't cure those problems, so what is it that you do?
Well, I think what Cindy Hunsell, who's the executive director of Wiser, really has emphasized to me is that women have to be able to take care of themselves. They can't count on the government, they can't count on husbands, because at some point in 85% of women's lives, they will be solely responsible for
either
themselves.
Either through divorce or through their husband
or never getting married, or their husband died, or
and women don't get treated very well sometimes in divorce when it comes to retirement.
Well, they are eligible for some of their husband's retirement. They have to get a special document that's called a quadro, and that is something they should ask their lawyer about, because that can be part of the negotiations. And if you go on Wiser's website, which is wiserwomen.org, there's a section there on divorce. It's a wonderful resource for women.
Do you have an office?
There's an office in Washington, D.C.
But do you do grassroots in the community?
Absolutely. In other words, you can call up Wiser and ask to have somebody come out and speak to a group or get involved in a project or give you some guidance. That's what they're there for.
So women can call and go on the website.
Absolutely.
Okay. So here's the story. We know all the reasons. Women start working later, there's a gap in their earnings, they don't make as much money, they're not that literate.
That's what they need to. That's where they need to start.
They're not that literate. Do you offer literacy training?
Absolutely. That's one of the things that Wiser does, is offer literacy training. As a matter of fact, there are a couple of publications on the website that you can order. One is the 7 life-defining decisions, and another is simple what everybody needs to know about money in retirement, which is for both men and women.
And people are living longer too.
Absolutely.
I mean, last year, did you know Hallmark sold 85,000 happy 100th birthday cards?
No, but that's we are living longer, and I think that that's scary. But I think there are several things that women can do.
Yeah, let's talk. Let's
well, 50%, only 50% of workers have either a 401k or a defined benefit pension plan. Only 20% of people actually have a defined benefit pension plan, which is
and they're becoming less and less popular with the economy,
all the time. So. If you have a 401k, you need to make sure you participate. You need to know what your company's match is so that you are contributing to that up to their match.
So you have to ask these questions.
Yes, you have to ask questions, and you have to say, I'm going to learn this myself. You can't be afraid of money. You can't be afraid of learning how to do it, because it's becoming more and more your responsibility. And what I want to say about becoming more and more your responsibility is that when you learn to do this for yourself, I was widowed and went back to school and became a certified financial planner. You feel so much more in control of your life, and you can make such better choices about your life. So what I say now is, even if somebody else wants to take care of me, I don't want them to do that.
You're a grown-up.
I'm a grown-up.
You're a grown-up.
I'm a grown-up after all these years.
Right.
So women need to know when they vest. When are they eligible for any retirement?
People may not even know the word vest.
That's right. Vesting means that's when you are eligible for your retirement. Like if you work for the state, you're fully vested after you've been there 5 years. Wow. Some companies, you get a certain percentage every year. You need to ask that. You need to ask about what they offer. And you need to learn about compound interest. For example, if you start investing when you're like 18 to 27 and you put money in your IRA, you never put money in again. You will still have more money than somebody who starts at 27 and finishes at 65.
Most people don't think of that, though.
That's right.
I mean, you asked the question, when is a good time to start thinking, saving for your retirement?
The minute you get a job.
The minute you get a job.
The minute you get a job, you need to start putting a little bit away, because one, then you get in the habit of putting money away, and two, then if you get a raise, you can take a little more and you can put it away, and it will grow.
I want to ask you, women have a tendency have a tendency to work part-time. Can part-time people share in retirement benefits?
It depends on the company. If you don't have a company plan, then you need to open a Roth IRA.
So you could open that on your own?
Absolutely, you can open that on your own. And a Roth IRA means that any money you put in it is after-tax money, but you never have to pay anything on it when you take it out. So if you start really early, and there is a limit on the income, but it's fairly high.
Right.
If you consider how much money a lot of women make.
Right.
You are eligible for a Roth. You put a little bit of that money away every year. It grows the whole time, and when you take it out, you're not paying any taxes on it. Right. So
it's really getting kind of a new mindset.
Yes, absolutely. I think
Right.
it is getting a new mindset.
I mean, you know, when women, it's funny what, Lynn, women handle so much of the family budget. It's a little funny that they don't think about their own, taking care of themselves, or that they don't think about money in the way we're talking about money now.
I know, and I don't know.
It's almost out of context.
It is, and a lot of the wealth actually in this country is in the hands of women.
Right.
But there's a huge percentage of women that are going to have to pay attention to what they're doing, or they won't have any money to retire on. You have to figure that you're going to live longer than you think. You have to either look at long-term care insurance or figure about long-term care.
And I think that people are deluded a little bit into thinking, women maybe, that they don't have to worry because Social Security will take care of them.
But Social Security is a social insurance policy. It's not your retirement. As a matter of fact, Social Security looks at Social Security as part of what they call a three-legged stool. So you have Social Security, you have whatever you're getting where you work, and then you have your own savings and investments. So Social Security
and Social
doesn't...
Security is not very friendly to women.
Well,
if you are working and you are married, you can't collect both at the end.
No, but you can't collect both. But if you have been married for 10 years, and you need to double check what I'm saying on the Social Security website. But if you have been working for 10 years and you get a divorce, you are eligible for your ex-husband's Social Security when you get to be a certain age.
So we want to be sure that everyone listens, that everything has to be checked out. The point I wanted to make is you can't just depend on that as being the sole guardian of your retirement.
No, but I think it's for something like 25% of women, that's their only income.
Right.
That's their only income.
So, I agree. I think whenever I hear, I think people are living on really what seems like a paltry sum.
Right. Right. That is true.
That's right. So start early.
Start early.
Ask questions.
Ask questions.
Ask questions.
Think that you're going to live longer than you think you're going to.
If you're a woman that is unemployed, can you start a Roth IRA? You have to be working to start an IRA.
You have to have income.
You have to have an income.
It has to be earned income.
It has to be earned. For any of these plans, it has
to be. For
any
of the plans, yes.
It has to be earned income.
It has to be earned income.
So already is it behind the 8 ball because you may have a gap in when you're starting to work.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So women can come to you for advice. What other means is there for women to get smart in this?
Well, I think Wiser is a wonderful resource. Let me just go back and say something. Cindy Hansel was the first executive director. It was originally funded by Teresa Heinz Carey.
Oh, really?
And then now they get money from her foundation, and they also get money from the Office for Aging and other grants that they happen to get. Let me go back, though, because I think there are IRAs that are now eligible if you're married and not working.
Okay, I think
you can fund.
I
think you can
because
fund
it seems.
something.
I mean, we're saying that being a mother, being at home is a very worthwhile job.
I think that you now can. What I don't think, and I'm not positive about this, I don't think if you're not married and you're unemployed that you can do anything.
Right. Well, and as I say, check
everything.
So your website
Right.
is what now?
wiserwomen.org.
Wiserwomen.org.
And it has a lot of information on it. And what Cindy loves to do, and sometimes I do it with her and other people do training, is go out and talk to people.
Right.
She has a wonderful slide presentation that talks about the things you have to pay attention to and how you can begin to become financially secure. And she works a lot with middle and lower income women. So this is just, I mean, I say to her, Cindy, you know, there are upper middle class women who need to know all these things
exactly.
too. Yes.
Yeah. I think I think you make a good point. I think that when it comes to women, the ignorance about financial matters,
yes,
or the inattention to financial matters, cuts across all
spectrums,
all economic lines.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, often women, you know, are married and their husbands die, and they really don't even know where the money is.
No, I was actually married to somebody who was very bright, and neither one of us knew anything. And then he
really?
died very young, so I had to learn.
And you said you were a widow and you went back to school.
Right.
Right. And you learned to become a financial planner?
Yes, and I started taking the classes, and I thought, gee, this is really interesting stuff. And then I was taking the classes, I'd say, oh, goodness gracious, we really did that? You know, we didn't know what we were doing.
Right. It's amazing.
Yes,
yeah,
it is amazing.
And of course now we're in a society where we're wondering if the financial institutions know what they're doing.
Well, that is the question.
But you know, that's a good point. You start an IRA, you start a 401k. It's not just enough, is it, Lynn, to put the money in? Don't you have to get kind of smart about how it's invested?
You get choices. When you invest through a company, they give you certain choices. And yes, you need to understand the choices.
So does your group help people with that too?
Yes, I'm sure that Cindy could do that.
Yeah,
but lots of the companies
have gotten hurt with,
yes,
with too much of their money in their own stock or something, and they've gotten hurt with their 401ks.
Yes. You need to learn how to not necessarily manage your money, but you need to learn things like asset allocation and to be diversified, and you need to know that when you go in the market, you stay there and you ride it up and down. You have to pay attention because nobody's going to do it for you.
Well, that reminds me, I used to have my old boss, before I went into my own business, he said to me all the time, remember, nobody watches your money like you.
Right.
You're the best guardian.
Unfortunately, nobody spends it like us either.
That's okay. That's what I just said. I have a mantra. I make it, I spend it.
Right.
But the truth of the matter is, I think when people make it, especially if they're entrepreneurs, they have a little bit. They have some smarts about how they're reaching into their pocket and spending it. But the main point is that women have to get savvy.
Yes.
They have to, like anybody, they have to start early, and really, they have to almost insist on their rights to retirement income, and not think it's somebody else's responsibility.
That's right.
Grow up. Right. Thanks for being on. I appreciate it very much. Thank you for watching. You're watching Getting Your Money's Worth. I'm Judith West. We're with Lynn Rollins, a board member of Wiser, a group that teaches women how to watch their money and be prepared for their retirement. Thanks for watching.